What's up, everybody? It's Cameo Finance coming to you from the editing room. Before we get started with this amazing and super exciting tutorial on how to mint and create your own 10,000 profile picture avatar NFT collection, I just want to say a quick thank you to everybody that has been liking and subscribing to the channel. We have almost reached my goal of 1,000 subscribers. The last video got over 3,000 views, so let's keep it up. Let's get this channel to 1,000 subscribers, and let's get this video to 1,000 likes. Before we get started, go down below in the comment section right now, in the comment section below the video, and join our Discord group, the NFT Whales Incorporated. We do have some big NFT projects coming. The one that we're going to be releasing today in this tutorial is just the beta, but you are going to want to be involved with our Discord channel. So without further ado, let's get started with the tutorial. What is up, everybody? It is Cameo Finance, and I'm here to talk to you about NFTs and how you yourself can create your very own NFT project if you want to. So there's two ways that you can create NFTs, at least two ways that most people use. One is the generative way, by using JavaScript or some other coding language to create an art piece based on a given set of instructions. These instructions can even be random. What a lot of artists are doing is that you can build a framework and create a bunch of assets. And then the random number generator will choose a random asset for each category of the framework to create a finished art piece. So in today's video, I'm going to show you how to do both of those things, the pros and the cons of both, and what might be best for you. So let's take a quick look at my notes over here. So a few of the things that you're going to want to keep in mind when trying to launch an NFT is these four things. You're going to want to build a community.
One of us, gobble gobble, one of us.
You're going to want to have good art.
Bullshit. Bullshit. Derivative. That I love. I absolutely love.
You're going to want to have a website, and the coding really is optional. If you're going to do generative, you do need to have code, but if you are just an artist and you create graphic art all on your own, or you do photography, if you can somehow convert your art into a JPEG or a PNG or SVG file, then you can easily upload an NFT to OpenSea. You would just head over to OpenSea.io. You would log in with your MetaMask wallet, and then once you're in, you go to collections, you create a collection, and then you can put in your logo, your featured image, your banner image. If you have a website, you can have a name for your collection, a description, and a category. You can put in all your social links. This is new. You can set up the royalties. I think it's max 10% royalties that you can set up, so 10%. You can do your payout wallet address for your royalties on the Ethereum blockchain. Choose ETH or WETH. And then this is like the display, and then boom, you create your collection. Once your collection is created, so you have all the art, you just open up your collection by clicking on it, and if you are the owner, it'll have an add item button. So you'll click on that guy in the upper right corner, drag and drop your art files over here. You could put in the name of your art piece, an external link if you want one, a description. You can put in the properties here. These are things like, let's say your character has clothing, and the clothing is a raincoat. And you can add another one. Let's say their mouth is a smile, or their mouth is smoking mouth, you know, because a lot of NFTs have like a cigarette. So that's where you'd put things like that in there. You can do them one by one, upload your collection, You can control the total supply. This is actually default turned off. And they say it's coming soon, but it's actually already available if you click on this little eye. And if you go to learn more, there's a way around it, to where you could turn that off. Pretty simple. There's videos about it. I'm not going to talk about it right now, but if you want to upload yours one by one there, that's where you can do it. The biggest thing that you see these days is websites that look like this. It's going to have a supply over here. It's going to say mint this NFT. It's going to cost however much. Usually it's in Ethereum. The project that I'm going to be showing you how to build is on the Polygon blockchain, but you'll see on my OpenSea that I've already done this project all the way through. And you can see that the NFTs display. So only 20 have been minted so far. There's going to be a total of 1,337 is the limit. And yeah, you can see they're all here. Numbers 1, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, etc. And you can see they're on the Polygon blockchain, but that just means that the gas fees are going to be lower when you're trading these. But you can pay, you could trade them in ETH, just like all the other NFTs on the platform. So it's just a cheaper way to develop. There's no reason not to develop on Polygon. So this is pretty much what we're going to be building in this video. I'm going to be giving you the code that I used, and I'm going to be showing you how you can replace the assets and modify the code to launch your own collection. So you can just download the code. It's going to be in a zip file below, and it's going to come out looking just like this. Go ahead and get that downloaded. If we take a look at the code here, we'll just drag that onto our Visual Studio Code. In Visual Studio Code, you're going to look at some folders. It's going to look like that. Your input folders, these are going to be your assets. So if we view it in the Explorer, go to your input folder. So the way that the hierarchy of my project, let's take a look at one of the finished products again. So this is it right here. And the way that it's set up, it's kind of got the background, which is generated by the code. I just have it set to white, but you can make it whatever color that you want. And all of my layers are transparent background, so when you put them on top, it stacks up. So I have the skeleton layer, which I call the skin, then I have the mouth, the nose, the eyes, and then the last layer you want to stack is the hat, since it's going to be overlapping some things. And then so you can see that in my hierarchy. It doesn't matter what order your folders are in here, it's the code that's going to define how they're stacked. So if we jump back into the code over here, inside of our input folder, there's also going to be a config.js file. Within this config.js file, right here you can put the description of your project. I just put the title of my project, and then here you are going to want to purchase a domain with hosting, with file hosting. So you can do that on GoDaddy. They have a special right now that I think you can get, where if you don't buy the domain first, you want to get the hosting first. And so if you go to GoDaddy hosting and you sign up for hosting, file hosting for 1 year, you do get a free domain with that. So I was able to get a domain with hosting from GoDaddy for $12.99. And that was for nftwhales.org. And then so when you're building this, you're going to want to put in HTTPS, whatever your website is, /metadata. And I will show you how to go and add files and host your website on that host. But if you don't know what your website is going to be, you can just fill that in later. before you launch the project. But that is a piece that you're going to need to have. And just below that, you've got your edition size. So I start at 1, of course, and then you can, if you want to do 10,000, you swap out both of these numbers to 10,000. My maximum edition is going to be 1,337 for my maximum edition size, total project. And this is the races here. We're just going to stick with 1 to keep it simple, but Hashlips does have tutorials on how to expand this. Because let's say you have animals and they have clothes, and let's say you have a pig and the pig shirt does not fit the giraffe shirt. They're going to have different assets for each other because they're different shapes. So that's where you can go into the races and have different traits for each race. But to keep it simple, we're just going to have 1 class. You saw in my picture that my trait is just a skeleton, so it's just a skeleton, and he can have different assets on him. So you can see here in this first little area, we have the name of the NFT, and then here's where we go into building the layers. So in the skin, we have a skin folder, and then we have a skin layer, and the layer grabs from the elements, which are the pictures inside, and then I have the name of that. So this is how it's going to display inside the metadata. So it's going to say properties, skin is classic skin, or skin is spider skin. In the mouth category, in the properties, you can either have the NGMI, the big one, the big smile, the burp, cheeky grin, fish hook. And for each of these, you'll see that I have the name of it, and not just the name, but I have the path. So there's the main directory in the mouth folder, and it's the burp.png. So if we go in the mouth folder, burp.png, that's going to match up. And the IDs, they're going to start at 0, and they're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, etc. Every time that you add a new one of these, you're going to want to add a comma. So let's say I wanted to add an 11th trait. I'll just copy this here, copy that, paste it there, and you would want to change the name, new trait, or whatever you're going to call it, and then make sure you change it. You actually have the corresponding file in there. As far as the weight goes, this is where things get a little bit tricky. I'm just going to delete this one that I have here. But we start at the bottom, and 1 to 3. That means that this one is 2% rarity, this one is 1%. So you start at 1, this is 1%. This next one is 2% rarity, so it goes up to 3. The next one, this would actually end up being a 7. So 3 to 10 would be 7. And then 10 to 15 would be 5%, so this one would be 5%. 15 to 22 would be 7%, so this one is going to be 7% rarity. 22 to 30 is 8%, this one's 8% rarity. 30 to 40 is 10%. So all these don't have to add up to 100, they're going to add up to more than 100, but it's the difference between them. So the difference between 40 and 51 makes this one 11%. The difference between 51 and 73 makes this one 22%. So it gets a little bit complicated, but you just kind of work your way up, and then at the end, you end with 100. And then so once you're done with that category, then you move on to the next folder, headwear. And if you have more folders, you'll just want to copy the entire one of these. So starting here, and following that line straight down to the end of the mouth category to right here. All right, so you probably want to clone one of the smaller ones, like skin. So you just copy this right here. Boom. Copy that. Copy. And then you would just paste it right here in between. And then you would, whatever your folder is called, you would change out the name of the folder, and then the assets, you would change those, the IDs as well. and then you just use that as a template. Once you've got all of your assets added, then you want to make sure that you have Node.js installed. So you're going to go to Internet Explorer, sign up for Node.js. Not sign up for, but just download it. It's free to download. Just go over here, download Node.js for your whatever your interface is, your OS. And once you have Node installed, you want to open up your terminal. So terminal's in your applications. Easy way to find it on Mac is just hit Command space, type in terminal. It'll launch your terminal there. So once you have the collection downloaded and it's sitting on your desktop, it's not going to be zipped anymore. It's going to look like this. So in your terminal, you're going to type in cd desktop, or wherever the file is located. And then, so now I'm on the desktop. If I type in ls, that's going to list everything that's on the desktop. You can see I have collection, collection zip, and generative art. I have all those up there. And so let's cd, change directory into the collection. If you press tab, it'll fill it out sometimes. And then inside the collection, what's in there? Alright, now I have my generative art open source. So let's cd into that one, cd, generative, and then hit tab, it'll fill it out. And now we're in there. So now if we follow along here and see all the stuff in here, if we type in ls, it'll match up with everything that's in there. So now that we're in our main directory of our project file, specifically the generative art open source. Now that you've got all of your assets added and you've got Node installed, so you can check to see if Node is installed by doing Node. Go in your terminal and type in Node. I'll make this bigger for you actually. Yeah. So Node -v shows you your Node version. So now that we know that Node is installed, you can do npm install yarn. I think that's how you do it. So that's npm install global yarn. And if you hit an error, it says check permissions, missing write access. So installations like this can sometimes require super user permission. So what you can do then is just go to sudo su, and that means like sudo super user, and sudo means like super user do. It's like a force command. So you type that in and it essentially forces you to be super user. And if you have the administrator password, now you're running in the super user terminal. And if you run that same command again, npm install -g, which is global, and then yarn. Yarn is going to be what we're going to use to compile all of our dependencies. So now that we've got that done, let's just open up a new terminal. Yeah, because I don't really want to be super user anymore, so I'm just going to close that one. I don't need a super user terminal. And we'll just open up a new one. Make sure that we, another thing that I think that you can do is open up the folder where you want to be. I think that you can just do that. No. CD. Yeah, so now we're in the right folder. So if we open this up, you can always double check by doing ls. Everything looks the same. Cool. And then so now we're going to install our dependencies now that we have yarn installed, and we'll say yarn add all. Cool. So we've installed our dependencies, and now we can test the program. And then you want to make sure in the code that you don't have, well, yeah, we can do it. Even though it says 1,337, we're not going to print all those right now. We're just going to do a few of them. So if we go into our output folder right now, it's empty. And what we're going to do is type in node index.js. You can see it's printing away, creating my NFTs, and I'm just going to print that many. I'm going to hit Option C, no, Control C. Hit Control C, that's going to stop the simulator. And here we have the output folder. Each of these is going to show, here we have the NFT, and over here on the left we have the corresponding metadata. It's going to show like the title, it's going to have all the traits, the mouth, the values, and so all that when you go into OpenSea, for example, we click on this one. If you go into properties, it has all of those cool, it shows like, okay, 25% have this trait, 15% have this trait, 30, 100% have this. So pretty cool. That one doesn't have like a whole ton. Let's look at something that's like a little bit more busy. Like this one. Yeah, so snake eyes, 10%. Yeah. So you can have more traits on yours. But yeah, that's going to show how it's going to work. If you are getting this far, then you're already halfway there. So that is essentially your NFTs. A lot of people think that when you go to a website and like mint an NFT, that it's being like generated on the spot. But most of the time it's generated ahead of time. The artist already knows which ones that they're all going to look like, 1 through 10,000 if they want to. They'll see all of them. But, you know, that metadata is then stored, and then when someone goes to the website, that's when it's generated onto the blockchain as an NFT. So it grabs this data from your server and displays it as an NFT with that metadata. So it's pretty interesting to think about what NFTs actually are. And there are flaws to this way of doing it. Let's say that you purchase an NFT from a project and they're having their images hosted on their own personal server, and let's say they stop paying for their server. Now whenever you go to the NFT, it'll just be blank. So that is something to consider, and something that is very real in the NFT world. It's a very real thing that could happen. It doesn't happen a lot. Most of the people that create these projects, if it becomes successful, you know, they want it to grow and become better, and they don't want it to fail. You know, anyways, so if you've gotten that far, now it's all about taking these files, and now that we've got those files, we're going to jump into the second half of the project, which is building the NFT minter. So let's start messing around with that code. So now we've got your metadata. Once you've got your code done on the other one, mint your whole entire collection if it works. Mint them all. Put it in a folder called metadata. And we'll jump over to this next bit here. When you open it up, it's going to look something like this in the example NFT minter when you open it in Visual Studio Code. The first thing that we are going to take a look at is in the public folder. We have these assets here, and the icon and things like that. You're going to want to replace all these in the public folder. And in the source code assets, you're going to want to replace the images that are in assets. And moving down, let's go into the app.js. You can leave all this. This is in these little orange quotes here, some of these things that you might want to consider changing. This is the text that is going to display on your website. So if we see here, maybe it's your lucky day, things like that. You can see that that is displayed. Let's refresh the page. So maybe it's your lucky day. Here you go. Let's close this guy. Let's make this one full screen. All right. Yes. So just kind of read through here. Anything that kind of looks foreign, you really need to know. This right here, this needs to be the contract of your smart contract. So up here we do have our minting contract. So we'll go into contracts, flattened smart contract. What you're gonna want to do when you get this file brand new, see these top two notes here? You want to delete that. All the green stuff above pragma solidity, delete it. That's gonna get in the way of you verifying later. If you have anything in your code that's like above the pragma solidity thing, and you're trying to get verified, it messes with it. That's something that I had to learn the hard way. I don't even know how I figured it out myself, because even Hashlips didn't even explain how to do that. So you want to delete that. All this code here is pretty much copy and paste. Let me just double check it. Yeah, so this is all copy and paste. So you just copy this, copy all, copy that. Then we're going to go over to Remix. Make sure your MetaMask is logged into the Polygon network. Go to remix.ethereum.org. I'm going to go to a different wallet for this actually. Let's send it to account number 3. Cool. Alright, so now that we're on remix.ethereum.org, you can go over here to workspaces. Here's the default. Test, about test.sol. Let's just delete all that. We'll pop in that code that we just copied. Perfect. And let's rename it. And we'll just call it ngmi test dot sol. You can call it whatever you want. I'm just going to call it that. So ngmi test dot sol. Let's go down here. I think it's 0.8.4. Solidity, default, enable optimization. Let's compile it. Oh. Okay, so maybe that little bit of code, you do want to have it in now, but you're going to take it out later when you're verifying. But anyways, it says it's just a warning. It didn't give us any type of anything. So now we can go down here, go to injected Web3. We're connected to our wallet. We've got our 5 Matic in there. And this is our contract. Not going to miss a test.sol. Perfect. So it's the Nerdy Coder Clones NGMI test. Alright, so once you have your metadata on your server, and once you have all of your code in remix.ethereum, you'll type in the name of your token. So for this one, it's going to be NGMI. You know, you can call it whatever you want. You can call it cool token. You can call it whale token. You can call it whatever you want. So let's say it's called cool token. Cool token, and the symbol is CTO. And then here's where you would enter in your website. So like https:// and then whatever your website is where you want to host those files. So in my case, it's going to be nftwhales.org/metadata. And then you would just transact this. There it goes. It did a thing. So now, technically, if I go over to my profile, because I'm on a different wallet now, right? Account wallet 3. Let's connect with this one. Here we go. No items to display. All right, so it took a couple of minutes to transact on the blockchain, but here you can see the first 20 from the collection minted to my address. That's built in to the smart contract. And then so yeah, if you launch, you'll see your art there. First 20 in your collection, and then the next setup would be, so now that we've got our contract on the blockchain, we need to get it verified. So we'll head over to Remix, and then over here next to this transact button, you want to hit copy there. Copy all that, and jump back over to your deploy files. So let's create a new deploy file. I'm just going to call this one deploy test. Okay. I'm just going to paste all that in there. Did that even copy everything? There we go. Deploy test.text. So here's my text file. After I've pasted it in there, if you like pop out of it and pop back in, you'll be able to see it like this. And just scroll to the bottom where all these zeros are, and then just leave that there. Now we're going to jump back to here. And you can see our deployed contract is down here. You want to copy that address and save it somewhere. So I'm going to go to my notes. Test project address. I always do it a few times just in case I mess one up. And yeah, so now that we've got our test project address, let's go over to our Polygon scanner. Polygonscan.com. And you'll go up here and type in the address of the contract you just created. You'll see it here, cool token. There it is, cool token. CTO is live on the Polygon blockchain. Very cool. And then we go and check out contract. You can see it's just a big blob, and nobody can interact with your contract because it's not verified or published. So you want to click on verify and publish. It'll auto pull in the contract you want to verify. We're going to choose single file compiler. Compiler version 0.8.4. The open source license type. I think we're going to use this fifth one. Public license 3.0. And agree. And down here, it's going to ask for the smart contract and the ABI encoded stuff. What we're going to do is jump over to this code, the deploy test code, and at the first zero here, see this big blob of zeros? At the first zero, we're going to grab that zero. So it's after the 5, but the first 0 and everything after. Copy all that. This right here, let's replace it. And then our smart contract. Let's jump back over to contracts, the flattened smart contract. Grab all that. Dump it in here. And let's see what happens. Oh, the optimization, it was optimized. So I probably should have tried that. Okay. Optimization, yes. Let's try that again. Yes. All right. Cool. Successfully generated bytecode and ABI. So yeah, to recap, you just want to make sure that optimization enabled says yes. Make sure you do copy in that bytecode at the bottom from your deploy files. All right. Awesome. Very, very cool. All right. So now that it's verified, if we go and copy our address again, jump back, search for it. Now, when we look at our contract, you can read, you can see that it's verified. Very cool. Yeah, you can write it. So now we can interact with these functions like mint, pause, remove whitelist user, transfer. So pretty cool. You can change the base URI, set the cost, set the max mint amount. So now you can interact with all these features and modify your smart contract and interact with it that way. And that is verified on the blockchain for everyone to see. And now, if we go over to the code on our website builder, let's close this, close this. So it's in here. So we're in the minter. Now let's go to the app.js. And now that we have our contract code, you can go and copy your contract code. Where is it? There it is. So when it comes to the example NFT minter, you're going to go to app.js, and on line number 69, you'll replace it there. I'm just going to leave mine like that because this is my actual project. So I'm not going to replace it on the test files, but yeah. So once you've got that in there, you'll save that. Make sure you kind of read through here. Make sure wherever it says, oh, now you own this, you know, you're going to change that out for the name of your project. Here you go. This is another piece of text description here that you might want to change out. This is where you'll put your OpenSea collection. So whenever you launch your smart contract, it'll automatically create a collection for you. So when you go to your OpenSea profile, I've never even been on OpenSea on this before, but since I launched that contract, if I go to my collections, boom, cool token. So yeah, pretty cool. Probably just going to see if I can hide this collection. Delete collection. Okay, never mind. Interesting. So yeah, pretty much not a lot of things can be deleted from the blockchain. If anything, that would just hide it from OpenSea. Nothing can be deleted from the blockchain. But yeah, we've got the smart contract launch. We jump back over here. That's where you put your OpenSea link for your newly generated collection. Here's some text. You can choose the cost here. This is just the text for the cost. The actual cost for each item. There it is. So on the smart contract, 100 Ether. There's the cost. There's the max supply. There's the max mint amount. And as far as right here, whenever you launch the contract, here's how you can choose how many are minted directly to your wallet when you launch the project. So sorry if you already launched your smart contract, but yeah, that's where you would edit that at. But if you already launched your contract and you want to change that amount, you can also just interact with the contract that you already have by going to remix. Not remix, but interacting here. You connect to your Web3 wallet, connect to your MetaMask, and then since you're the owner of the contract, you can change the mint amount. Set the cost. Here it is, new cost. So let's say you want to make the new cost 0.08, and you just click right. But if you want to make it 200 Matic, you just do that, click right, and make it so all of them cost 200. But if we jump back over to the code, there we go. If we go into the app.js, and you've got your contract added there, all you need to do is go back over to your terminal. Let's cd, go backwards, cd backwards. Okay, that went too far back. Let's go back to our desktop, into our collection, into our NFT minter. Now that we're in the NFT minter, let's do yarn add all. This one's probably going to take a little bit longer. And once you've got those added, you're going to do yarn build. and that is going to build a production build based on all of the files and stuff in there so that you can run it on a server. Alright, so we've got a new build, and all of those build things are going to go inside your NFT Minter folder. They're going to be inside the build file. So inside the build file, you do want to double check before you upload this to your server that the logos and the icons have been replaced. And then, yeah, there shouldn't really be anything else in there. So all that is good. You just, and you can test it on here. Let's go to yarn start. So that's going to launch up a development server on a local host. So this is not going to be live on the internet yet, but it'll give you an interactive web page to see if everything's working. The first time you launch it, it does take a little while to load, so just give it a little bit of time. Test servers sometimes take a little bit to boot up. Localhost 3000. That's what it's going to look like there. So if we copy that, that's where it's being broadcasted to right now. Open up a new tab here at localhost 3000. So that's where it's being broadcasted right now. I'm not sure why it didn't launch that tab properly, but that's where we are running is localhost 3000. On your computer, it'll probably also be localhost 3000. So if you start it in here, you can always click Control C to stop it, and then let's run yarn start again. Yarn start. And there it goes. Took me to localhost 3000. So it actually worked that time. But yeah, so this is what yours is going to look like. You're going to see your NFT over here. The connect button should work now. So it'll say install MetaMask if you don't have it. So that's why I went over here on my Brave browser. I can actually connect to it. If I want to buy one, it's going to open the transaction. It's going to cost 100 Matic. And how you're going to get these on your actual website is that you are going to take all of these files right here, and you're going to drop them in the public HTML folder. So on every single hosting server, it's going to have a public HTML folder, and you'll just take this whole entire thing and copy it into that public HTML folder on your server, and then you're done. So I hope that was straightforward enough. If you have any questions or comments and you'd like to go into anything more in detail, I would say the best place to go is to join my brand new Discord channel, the NFT Whales Discord channel. We're going to be doing some big things there, putting out some more and more projects. This was just my first beta project that I released. So if you do want to support the channel, please buy one of these NFTs, and future projects. If you do hold an NGMI Punk, you will not miss out on future drops, and I will guarantee of it. So we're going to be doing airdrops, mint passes, things like that. NGMI Punks is just the beginning. So if you want to get in early, join up with the Discord group. Again, give me any questions, anything like that. If you yourself are working on a project and all this stuff is just going way over your head and you'd like to team up with me on a project, I am open to business inquiries as well. So again, join my Discord channel and shoot me a message. If you made it this far into the video, I hope I provided you with some sort of value today. If I did, please sure to like and subscribe. It does genuinely benefit me and the channel. And I will see you in the next video.